Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 15, Fresh Meat. I'm your host, Dom. With me is my co-host, Heather.
Yay.
Yay. How's
Yay.
it going?
It's going.
It's going.
Going.
What did you think of this episode?
I liked it. I'm really enjoying this season so far.
This episode was phenomenal.
It was. They have really amped it up. And after having one of the slowest seasons ever, season 4, I'm extremely happy.
Yep. A lot happened this episode, which is insane.
Yeah.
You know, the episode starts off, we see Toby dropping some paperwork off in prison. We don't know exactly what the paperwork was, but I don't think that was very significant.
It was from the detective.
Right. In the meantime, Toby sees Allie in prison and catches her arm all bruised up. So apparently she's getting the crap kicked out of her in jail.
As she said, fresh meat.
Yep. Allie tries to convince Toby to have Spencer call this all off and everything. And she says the liars are next. If A doesn't end up killing them, then they're gonna end up joining her. Do you think Allie has anything to do with this at this point?
You know what? It's really hard to say. I mean, there's been some speculation going around that Allie's going to die. There's been,
She already died.
Well, no, like actually die finally.
Finally.
You know, they're really playing it where she could go either way. And she's so good at lying, it's hard to tell what's true and what's not when it's coming from her. It really is. I mean, she's essentially the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, I mean, last week we said that kind of the fan theory going around is Arya. That Arya's involved in some way, shape, or form.
It changed this week.
Did it?
It changed this week. This week's fan favorite for being A is actually Hannah.
Huh. Interesting. It seems like so much is going on. Like Arya seemed very suspicious last episode. This time she seemed very victimized.
Well, the big thing that people are going on right now is that Hannah apparently is very good at playing dumb. She's gotten accepted to how many schools she won't even say.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, we've seen her in the past being what's a gazebo and keep all your geese in a row.
Right.
You know,
and
it's like
she's been best friends with Mona. She would know where all this stuff was.
Yeah. Ducks honk, geese quack, you know, we this whole thing we went over, and you know, that was like my favorite scenes from Hannah, and they stand out so well with me that if that's all a big ruse, that's genius, you know? So but meanwhile, while Hannah won't exactly say how many schools she got accepted to, Arya has been rejected from every single college she's applied to.
None of them. Well, hold on. She was put on the waiting list.
That's true.
For one school, and it has some weird name.
Yeah, it begins with
It's in there.
T.
I caught it.
Begins with a T, I think.
Yeah, it's like Talbra.
Yeah, something like that. Which she later ends up finding someone who despises her is on the committee board.
The attendance
board.
Of nonetheless.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it ends up being Ezra's ex-wife, is it?
Ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend?
It's his ex-girlfriend. That's the girl that he was dating. Oh, God, this was seasons ago. That was... Where am I looking? I don't even know. But this was the girl that... What's her name?
Jackie?
Jackie, thank you. That's not the ex-wife. The ex-wife was the one with the short hair.
Yeah,
That's got the little boy.
the actress was Larissa Olenek.
Uh-huh. Jackie was another girl that he dated at some point with like it coincided with Arya.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Talmadge College is where it was. But
let me look it up really quick.
Yeah. It seemed really interesting, like that, the way that all unfolded with, you know, how she wants to write a letter, and Ezra's like, no, don't do it, and then she goes behind his back and writes the, like...
Oh, he was engaged to her.
He was engaged to her. She goes behind Ezra's back and writes, like, the nastiest letter about Ezra she possibly can, thinking it's going to win over Jackie. She shows it to Emily. Mm-hmm. And Emily's like, no, do not, under no circumstances send this.
Send this.
Aria's like, too late.
Oh, well, I already did. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was... It's definitely going to come back and bite her in the ass, what she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, she goes to the school. She tries to talk to Jackie directly. Right? Jackie's like, it's okay. Your secret's safe. Mm-hmm. You know, she ended up getting accepted. Was it?
At the very end of the episode, Jackie emailed her and said, "You're in, girl."
Okay. Yeah. So after she goes to Ezra's. He's got like a bookstore at the brew, right? Ezra bought the brew. Is that what happened?
Yes, Ezra bought the brew, and he is turning it into kind of like a cafe/bookstore.
So basically, Barnes and Noble.
Basically, Starbucks.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble / Starbucks, which my Barnes and Noble has a Starbucks in it, so it's already basically that.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of taking what it was and turning it into something he enjoys, that kind of thing.
Right. In the meantime, afterwards, we see Arya go there, supposedly maybe to tell him the good news, or at least tell Emily the good news. Mm-hmm.
What good news? Hold on.
About her getting into school?
She doesn't get that accepted until the very end of the episode.
Oh.
She goes to...
I thought that was the very end of the episode.
Where? When?
When Arya goes into the thing and finds the bookmark.
Oh, yeah, that is. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So Arya goes in, she finds the bookmark, and a slit in the bookmark is the letter she wrote to Jackie.
An excerpt of it.
And it's bookmarked right at the Talmadge College entry. So I was like, yeah, A was definitely at that party. Mm-hmm. So I mean, so that kind of throws our fan theory out the window for yesterday. That Arya is working. I mean, it doesn't completely exclude her, though. We got to keep that in mind, because there could be multiple people working here. And if she doesn't frame herself, she looks too guilty.
Exactly. It's the same thing, like Allie saying the same thing. Why would I put myself here? Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
You know, or it's
if you make yourself untouchable, it's right. Not good.
You know, and then you've got Hannah, who's playing the perfect dumb blonde, and come to find out, she's smarter than Spencer.
You know what would be incredible? Is if all 4 of the liars turned out to be A.
A different form of A, where they were all just working against each other.
No, they're all working together.
Really? You think it'd be like that?
That would be amazing.
I mean, I think that'd be great, but... And
they're all doing this to, like...
It's like one of those at the very end,
maybe one of them is not in on it, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe only one, so...
Emily would be the innocent one.
Maybe.
I'm
thinking Spencer.
You know what? After the shit that happened at the school with Caleb, because once she pulled Caleb out of that kiln, she was more worried about that knife than Caleb himself.
Yeah. So I guess let's back up a little bit.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
they found Toby ends up finding a bloody knife at Mona's house when police decide to do a second scan. Right. He ends up panicking and he covers the knife back up. The first thing he does is he runs and tells Spencer. And Caleb. Caleb's there, and which is kind of odd. Why was Caleb with Spencer? I don't even know. They never. I don't even think they tried to explain it. It was just there.
It was literally just there.
Yeah.
It was, here, have a knife, guys.
No, I mean why Caleb was with Spencer.
Oh yeah, no, she.
I mean, supposedly maybe they're
together.
working on some A stuff, but we don't really find out concrete evidence. But when Toby goes, he's like, yeah, this knife, it was from my family's cabin. Caleb's like, well, I used that knife, my prints could be on it. My prints could be on it. They're freaking out. Toby wants to turn it in as evidence because if A's prints are on it, if Allison's prints are on it, it directly helps them with the case.
Right.
However, if it was a plant and Toby's prints are on it, if Caleb's prints are on it,
Any of them,
they're screwed. Spencer and Caleb do not want to take the chance. Toby does.
right?
They all make a pact not to touch the knife, not to go back, just leave it there. Stupidest idea ever.
Yeah, definitely. You've got three people who all want to do something completely different with it, Spencer made the final call.
Yeah. And then Toby comes in and gets mad later on in the episode after they go and take it. And Spencer's like, well, you wouldn't have known if you didn't go try to get it yourself.
Right. She called him out.
Yeah,
flat out.
But what kind of logic is that? If Toby took it and turned it over to the police, and Spencer and Caleb went to go find the knife and it wasn't there, and they confronted Toby, they don't have any, you mean to tell me they wouldn't get pissed at Toby?
Right.
Of course they would.
I mean, Toby's really upset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that whole scene, because that's the end of that was another scene from the end of the episode. That whole scene, Spencer was just trying to talk to him. She was trying to tell him anything, anything and everything, and he told her to stop.
Yeah.
That she was just going to hurt herself because there were things he couldn't know now.
Yeah, and
that really hurt her.
It did, because she's like, I used to be able to tell you anything. Now I can't tell you anything,
Right. So. She's having a hard time with this whole transition into Toby is now a police officer. And I'm kind of LOLing at how fast Toby became a police officer. Just saying. I mean, Rosewood logic.
Yeah, we've seen what that department can do, so it's not really much of a surprise when you really think about it.
It's kind of like, guys,
yeah,
let's be serious here. But yeah.
They make this pact though that they're not going to touch the knife. They agree not to say anything. And the first thing Caleb does is calls up Hannah, tells her all about the knife.
Like a dumbass.
It's like, did Caleb just pull a Hannah?
They've been spending too much time together.
Yeah. So, they make this thing. They agree, not to blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, what's the first thing that Hannah's gonna do?
Blab to everybody.
She goes and runs and cries to Spencer that Spencer didn't tell her.
Right. Yep. In the meantime, we get to learn a bit about Caleb's past and why he's so paranoid. We get some more backstory on him, that he was arrested for alleged murder. He was let go immediately from a detective that had sympathy towards him.
Because he was a dumb kid.
Right. But do you believe Caleb? Or do you think he was really involved in this?
I think there's more to it.
Yeah, there's got to be.
There's got to be. It was too easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the meantime, Emily wants to fund some... It's been, about 2 weeks, I think they said, since the last episode?
Mm-hmm.
She wants to fund some money to fly out to go see...
Paige.
Yeah. She wants to go fly out to go see Paige. So, Paige, she said, has not returned her phone calls in 2 weeks.
No. She said she has been. It's just every day that passes, she's hearing from her less and less and less. The relationship is becoming extremely strained.
Right. So she wants to earn some more money so she can do that. So she talks Ezra into letting her cater for his opening, which he had just lost his caterer, so it ended up being good timing. But Emily is a mess.
She is.
She couldn't cook her way out of a paper bag. She's trying really hard. I'll give her that much.
She is. She's really trying, And, I mean, she's calling her mom, trying to get help, but she's being very stubborn about it.
She's being extremely, extremely stubborn. So, I mean, she's throwing
food,
dough at the wall, and it's just like, what are we gonna eat off the walls? Like,
I mean, Ezra was kind of poking a sleeping bear there, though. I mean, he poked her the entire episode.
He sure did. But then Ezra goes over her head and ends up ordering an actual professional caterer. Do you think this was a good move on Ezra's part?
It definitely saved his party, but I think he could have handled that better.
I don't know. He seemed like he approached her enough times and tried to give her all the help that she could, and she wasn't taking it.
Yeah. She
was so determined. She was determined to set herself up to fail. That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
She was determined to fail.
Yep.
The meantime, Hannah, during all this, is going to find Holbrook, who
that whole scene
lives in a really creepy trailer park.
That entire scene does not exist. That was the creepiest shit ever. Like, I can do horror and I can do scary movies, but when you start adding kids on bicycles and people with raw meat, I'm just like, I'm done.
That guy was hacking apart a deer.
Right there. Just like, I was like, oh my god.
And Hannah just walks up to him like it's a very common occurrence, She's like, okay, whatever, this is...
It's Pennsylvania.
Holbrook, and they're like 402 or 412 or something. I don't remember.
It's Pennsylvania, though. They do that shit on the streets. they hit it with their car, get out, and got it right there.
Yeah, pretty much. But Holbrook's father ends up answering the door. And apparently he mistakes Hannah for Allie. So,
which is very interesting.
Yeah. So something a little more is going on there, which I'm not quite sure. Is this the beginning of the fan theory that's Hannah and Allie are the two twin things?
It kind of pushes me a little bit further towards the whole. Maybe it isn't Arya and it is Hannah.
Could be. But then after the conversation and Hannah goes to leave, the car door, all the four of the doors are open. And there's a stuffed puppy dog in there.
That is from the school. She was holding it from the college.
Okay.
It's like a little souvenir thing.
Yeah, but instead of filled with stuffing, it's filled with deer guts.
Fucking string. It's so gross.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, like, one of the most morbid things I've ever seen them do on this show. I mean, we put the girls with dead bodies and stuff before, but this is raw deer guts falling out of a teddy bear.
And not only that, but the only person in sight is this creepy little kid on a bicycle.
Right?
That just, like, turns around and, like, stares at her.
It's like Build-A-Bear Workshop on fucking crack, man.
Build-A-Bear Workshop, Nightmare on Elm Street edition.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. So then Spencer and Caleb, which we were talking about before, they end up going to get the knife, right? And they decide that they're gonna bring it to a school, right?
Rosewood High.
Rosewood High. What the hell were they putting it in? I'm not very familiar.
It seemed like it is a giant oven for. You remember in art class when you had to mold things with clay? That's the machine that you put it in to turn it into pottery.
See, I never took art class like that. I had a computer video class instead.
What happens is if a certain object is put in there for too long, they will explode. So I think that they were trying to like I'm sure that the metal would probably melt. Like I don't understand why they would put it in a fucking kiln because kilns, yeah, they get really hot. I'm sure it would probably have burnt the evidence off,
Right.
melted the blade, probably shattered the handle.
Yep.
I mean, but that's all it would have done.
Yeah, I mean, like we see the, but there's shelves and stuff in there. There's all metal shelving and
Yeah. Well, yeah.
like I didn't quite understand how that was all supposed to function. I'm like, why are they putting a knife in there if there's all these shelves and like I just didn't get the whole room. I didn't get the concept of it. I knew it was hot because clearly, Spencer goes to investigate some noise, which ends up being a window open, blowing some stuff around, and while she's doing that, Caleb gets locked in the kiln and barely makes it out with his life.
Again.
Just in the nick of time. Yeah.
Yep.
Would you been upset if Caleb died in there?
I do like Caleb, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked him until he went to Rosewood. Ravenswood. I have not liked him since he came back. Like,
He's kind of shitty in this season.
yeah. I mean,
Like, he's very...
something more happened to him than what
There's
they
something
said.
going on with him. There's something very serious going on with him, and I really hope we find out what it is soon.
Yep. Yep. Then outside of that, Emily kind of gets over everything that Ezra did to her, at the end of the episode. She's like, you know what, you're right. She may be able to outcook me, but no one can out-barista me.
Right.
And she realizes, she can't be the strong suit at everything. She's a good swimmer, she's a good barista, but she's not a good cook. So, Hannah goes to see Allie. Right. Allie plays the innocent card.
Again.
Yeah. She reveals that the reason she left Thanksgiving was she got a message from Cyrus, who said that he was going to rat her out if she didn't come see him or something. And said that he no-showed. And her father covered for her.
Yep.
Do you think this is really what happened?
Again, we haven't seen Cyrus in how long?
Right.
Haven't heard his name, haven't seen him, nothing. He was in a couple episodes and then gone. Yeah, this is like them coming back and say, like, all of a sudden somebody had the field hockey stick. It's kind of one of those things. Just, can we really believe it at this point because it's been gone for so long?
It's like the lost puppy. I mean, we get a scene with Jason and Miss Marin. Miss Marin, who she picks up the phone. It's Allie calling for her brother. Jason's like, nope, I'm not taking it.
Because Jason's
harder to say no than take the call, is what he said.
Right. Jason's taking over his mother's business now, isn't he?
Or harder to take the call than it is to say no. Yeah, I believe so.
I think that's what it was going on. I was just kind of like, oh.
If he's not, he's at least it's maintained for the time being, and he's sorting things out at the very least. We don't know if he's going to end up keeping control of it.
Right.
But then later he goes to see her at home. And he ends up staying for dinner. And,
I'm so done with this show after this scene. I'm done.
That cougar. That's all that needs to be said.
I put that too. I'm like, cougar life. Like, what the fuck? This kid is barely older than her daughter. I'm like, Miss Marin, since the beginning of the fucking show.
And he's all like, well, I'm sorry. And she's all like, I'm not.
Keep going. Please, more.
And then Hannah ends up getting back from, the visit with Allie. And She basically walks into Jason getting dressed as he's going down the stairs. And
the look of horror on her face.
the look of horror on her face. What about the look of horror that was on my face? I can't even begin to tell you.
Like this whole scene played, and I was just like, "Are you serious? Did they just go here?"
They just went there.
Oh man.
They just went there. And then we get a flashback to Allie. Or not a flashback, but we get a flash to Allie. Of her in prison. Getting her daily change of clothes. And inside her breast pocket is a letter that says, your friends will see you soon. We don't know who that's from. It wasn't signed A.
Right.
So it's somebody that's working with Allie, and I think the biggest suspect would be Holbrook. So whether or not they're going to jail or she's getting out.
The other one that people were saying was Toby. Because Toby saw her and she said that to him. So that's the other one that's kind of going around, is that maybe Toby did it.
Could be.
But that's for those people who are still shipping the idea that he really is A.
Right.
Because there's still a lot of that.
Yeah, because I mean, we saw that, what was that, three seasons ago? So I think that was what, mid-season of 3? Is that what that was? Something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mid-season finale or the season finale, because it went on a break right after. That was like the last thing we saw in one of those episodes.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know, which way do you take that? As her friends are coming to visit her, her friends are coming to jail in like as criminals, or Allie's getting out? If you had to pick one of the 3.
I would pick Allie's getting out. Somebody's going to pull some strings, and something's going to get brought up and get somebody else in trouble. Somebody else is going to get framed, and Allie's going to get out. And
we did see a message. Was it a tweet? Was it a Q&A with Marlene King about the other girl that was mentioned forever ago?
Bethany
Young.
Yeah. Did I show you that? I showed you that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, I was so fucking happy.
Yeah, so we're finally gonna get answers on this other missing girl. This is gonna get resolved in some way.
This was the missing girl back from season 2 that went missing at the same time as Allison, and everybody thought that the body that the body that they found was it Bethany?
I don't think so.
No, it's not Bethany. I'll look really quick. I'll look. Because I can just go to the website.
No, the body that they found ended up being the girl that was in the mental hospital.
Right. But I think that was her name. I think that was Bethany. I think I have our name.
Oh, I think, yeah, we might be crossing the names here.
I think they are, because there's so many names in this damn show sometimes.
Yeah, it's a little hard
Sarah
to keep track
Harvey.
of. Sarah, yes, Sarah Harvey.
Sarah Harvey.
Yep. So we're going to find out something about her, whether she ends up being Allison, whether she ends up being Cece, whether she ends up being a completely new girl, whether she's A, which I don't know. She's the attitude that we got is she was very Allison-like.
Yeah. So Sarah was the girl from the nearby town who went missing around the same time Allison did. We haven't heard her name, talked about her, nothing since they're saying last season. Somebody asked Marlene King if we would ever find out what happened to her. Marlene tweeted, "Yes, you will find out what happened to Sarah Harvey."
Excellent. So I'm excited about that.
Like, they're starting to bring in loose ends that they left all the way at the back in the beginning of the show. And so I'm kind of hoping that they start pulling some of this other stuff that just went missing, that's been bothering us for seasons.
Yep. Anyway, next week's episode. I'm
really excited.
I actually just lost the title of it.
Uh-oh. I'm super excited. about next week's episode. Like, I don't know why, like, Pretty Little Liars has been so slow, and now all of a sudden it's just, like, ramped up.
Yeah, it picked up significantly.
It did. And we're still being told that we will find out who A is next season.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
I think I read that it's going to be before the end of the season, so.
Okay, next week's episode is called Over a Barrel. Loved ones are kept in the dark in an all-new episode of Pretty Little Liars. Burbank, California, December 22nd, 2014. Secrets abound for Arya, Hannah, and Spencer, while Emily tries to let go of Paige in Over the Barrel. Oh, maybe that's where the press release was, so never mind.
Yeah.
Ignore that. Secrets are hard to keep, especially when you are keeping them from a loved one. Spencer searches for Mona's missing laptop with Caleb's help, but where the search leads them could cross the Toby-approved line. Arya tries to keep up with the courage to come clean to Ezra about her lie when she gets diverted by a possible goose chase. And Hannah is stuck in the middle, having to cover Ashley's secret when Pastor Ted returns with big news.
I forgot she was even with the pastor still. Oh, shit.
Yep. Meanwhile,
I completely forgot about him.
Meanwhile, Emily has to put up with Talia's annoying suggestions at work as she struggles to come to terms with the end of her relationship with Paige.
Now, I think Emily's going to end up with Talia.
Could be.
I mean, that's just me saying that because, I mean, that's just, yeah.
Could be, and to be honest, I already like Talia more than I like Paige.
I do. She's really, I love how she's just like, if you don't like it, you can spit it in my face.
Yeah. But Paige, as much as I despised her for, like, the last 2 seasons, this season, she's been getting much better. I've actually enjoyed her.
And now she's gone.
Yeah, so right when they turn her writing around and make the character, a little bit better, they ship her off. And I don't know if the actress has left the show. I haven't heard anything officially.
I haven't been able to find anything if she took a break for another show or what she's doing. I've been trying to find out, but they're not really saying much.
Yeah. They're really good at that.
They're
really good at keeping their mouths shut.
They are. They really, really are. I did see something where somebody asked Arya a question about A. And I don't remember exactly what the question was, but her answer was, I don't know if I can answer that without getting in trouble.
Ooh.
Yes.
So apparently she knows.
Yes. From what I've understood, all of the liars know now who A is.
Ooh, that makes things very interesting.
Toby and Spencer, the actor and actress for Toby and Spencer, were the first 2 people to know. And then very slowly, Marlene started to tell the other girls. Arya was the last one.
Which,
It is. That's very...
Yeah.
It makes me wonder. Like, I would love it if one of them was A. I would.
Yeah, it would be interesting. That's for sure. That's for sure. I would love it if they're all A.
That would be... I would love to see them try to do something like that. That would be amazing. That would be really awesome.
It appears that Paige is going to be starring in Suburgatory.
Yep.
I don't know. That show's over already.
Oh.
Final episode aired May 14th. Yeah, so there's nothing else listed for her in terms of what she's been working on then. She was only on a handful of episodes, and then it was canceled. So yeah, I have absolutely no clue what she's been up to, or what she's going to be up to. So I'm to believe that she hasn't left the show completely yet.
Yeah.
I think things are going to get hot and heavy with this new girl between Emily
and then she's going to just
Paige
show
is
back
going to
up.
come back. Yeah. So.
I think it's going to... Well, like, I already know that they've already confirmed that Toby and Spencer are going to be in danger this season. Like, their relationship, which they've already started to show that.
Right.
I heard that there's supposed to be a lot of waterworks from Arya.
So it's basically going to be the Arya Ezra thing from last season all over again. Except it's going to be...
Excuse me. Hey, shh. Hold on.
Except it's going to be on Ezra's end.
Hey! What the fuck is your problem? Hold on. Okay.
Except it's going to be on...
I'm sorry.
It's going to be on Ezra's end. Ezra's going to be in shock that Arya could do this to her.
Yeah.
You know? But outside of that, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it. There wasn't really a lot of theories this week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very quiet. I mean, they really don't have a lot to go off of because the show writers are squashing so many theories so fast.
Yeah.
They really are. Like, theories we've been holding on to for 6 seasons now are being torn apart.
Yep.
They're being removed completely. So, very slowly, we are losing everything we thought we could cling to, and we're being left with tiny scraps.
Yeah.
Because I remember last season, before, in season 5, I was able to look through a list of 5 to 10 people that they had that they thought were A. And they would come out every week after the show, and it would be the top 5 to 10 suspects for A. That list has since gone down to 3 at one time. Like, I think the shortest I've seen it is 2.
Wow. So, I think it's safe to say kickboxing dude is off that list.
Yes, kickboxing. It's bouncing between Allie and Arya and Hannah.
Interesting.
Yeah. A couple other people are on
the other thing that I was just thinking really quick is we still don't know where Jason went. Those apartments, we don't know who he was talking to when he got followed, so...
We don't. I'd say he's acting really fishy, getting all close to Ashley like he is.
Yeah.
I mean, remember...
I'm sure this storyline is going to reveal some new things about Jason, so that's going to be exciting.
Remember at the beginning of the show, he tried to get really close to Arya, too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, this isn't the first one he's been trying to get close to.
That's true. Heather, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, a couple other places that I can't remember at the moment, at Chronixia.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You're doing that too now?
I've always been doing it. I do it with Cleo when I actually have shows with her.
Yeah, but she's not here.
Oh, I have to do it for her since she's not here.
You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube, /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week.
Bye.
We'll be playing lacrosse.
Yes. With kickboxing dudes.
While riding Allison's dog.
Puppies.